Pain, it's the one thing we all share, yet no one wants to admit. It's the silent visitor in the dead of night, the shadow lurking just behind every smile. But let's talk about it, shall we? Let's peel back the mask and face it head on. Pain changes emotions, and in that change we find who we truly are. People love to run from pain. Oh, they'll mask it, they'll bury it, they'll drown it in distractions, money, fame, love, whatever they can grab. But here's the truth they don't want to hear. Pain doesn't go away. It waits, it festers, it grows, and when it resurfaces, it's stronger, darker, sharper. It cuts deeper than before. But here's the secret. Pain isn't your enemy. No. Pain is your greatest ally. Because pain forces you to change. It drags you out of your comfort zone, kicking and screaming, and makes you confront the parts of yourself you'd rather ignore. Pain isn't the villain of your story. It's the mentor. It's not what you intentionally do, but what your unconscious redirects you. You see, emotions are fragile. They're fleeting, unpredictable. Love turns to hate, joy turns to sorrow, fear turns to anger. And what causes that shift? Pain. Pain is the catalyst. It's the storm that tears down everything you thought you knew about yourself and leaves you standing in the rubble, questioning everything. And in that moment you have a choice. You can let the pain consume you, turn you bitter, make you a shadow of who you once were, or you can use it, mold it, let it shape you into someone stronger, someone wiser, someone who doesn't just survive, but thrives. People will tell you time heals all wounds. What a lie. Time doesn't heal, it numbs, it makes you forget. But the wound is still there, festering under the surface. And one day, it'll open again, and you'll feel it all over. The truth is, healing isn't about time. Healing is about transformation. It's about taking that pain and turning it into something new, something powerful. Pain changes love. Oh, doesn't it? Love starts as this beautiful, innocent thing, soft, warm, safe. But then pain creeps in. Maybe they leave, maybe they betray you, maybe they're taken from you. And suddenly, love isn't safe anymore. It's dangerous, it's risky, it hurts. And you have two choices. Shut yourself off from it forever, or learn to love through the pain. Pain changes trust. You trust someone with your heart, your soul, your secrets, and they shatter it. Suddenly, every smile looks suspicious. Every promise feels like a lie. But trust? Trust isn't about never being hurt. It's about being brave enough to trust again, even when you know the risks. Pain changes joy. Oh, how it changes joy. It makes you realize that happiness isn't permanent. It's fleeting, delicate, a flickering flame in a hurricane. But maybe that's what makes it so precious. Maybe the pain is what makes the joy shine brighter, makes you appreciate it more when it comes. You can't escape pain. You can't outsmart it, outrun it, outfight it. It's always there, waiting, watching. But here's the thing. It's not about escaping the pain. It's about what you do with it. Will you let it break you? Or will you let it build you? People fear pain because it's uncomfortable. It's messy. It's unpredictable. But the most beautiful things in life come from pain. Diamonds are forged under pressure. Stars are born from chaos. And the strongest souls are the ones who've walked through the fire and come out the other side, not unscathed, but unbroken. Let me tell you something about emotions. They're not permanent. They're not reliable. They're not even real half the time. But pain? Pain is real. Pain is honest. Pain doesn't lie to you. It doesn't sugarcoat. It doesn't pretend. Pain shows you who you are, raw, vulnerable, human. People will try to shield you from pain. They'll tell you to avoid it, to play it safe, to stay comfortable. But comfort is a cage, and the longer you stay in that cage, the more you forget how to fly. Pain? Pain is the key that unlocks the door. It's the push that forces you to spread your wings, to take the leap, to risk the fall. Pain isn't the enemy, it's the test, the challenge, the proving ground. And every time you face it, every time you endure it, every time you rise above it, you become stronger. Not just physically, not just mentally, but emotionally. You learn to control your emotions instead of letting them control you. You learn that fear is just an illusion, that anger is just pain in disguise, that sadness is just love with nowhere to go. You learn that you are not your emotions, you are not your pain, you are something bigger, something greater, something unstoppable. Good. They'll call you cold. They'll call you heartless. They'll say you've changed. And they'll be right. Pain changes you. It hardens you. It sharpens you. It makes you see the world for what it really is, a battlefield. And on that battlefield you have two choices: become the victim or become the victor. Pain changes emotions, yes, but it also reveals them. It shows you what you're truly capable of, what you truly want, what you're truly made of. And once you see that, once you embrace that, once you own that, there's nothing you can't do. So stop running from the pain. Stop hiding from it. Stop fearing it. Face it, embrace it, use it. Let it mold you, shape you, transform you. Because pain isn't the end, it's the beginning. The beginning of strength, the beginning of resilience, the beginning of greatness. And when you look back on your journey, when you see the scars, the tears, the battles you fought, you'll realize something. Pain didn't just change your emotions. It changed your life. And for that you'll be grateful. Because without the pain, you wouldn't be who you are today. And who you are today, you're unstoppable. So, where were we? Ah yes, the part where you realize just how unstoppable you've become. Let me ask you something. How many times have you begged the universe to take the pain away? How many nights have you whispered, please, make it stop, to no one in particular? And how many times has the universe answered you with silence? The truth is, the universe doesn't care about your comfort, it cares about your growth. Pain isn't punishment, it's preparation. Every tear, every sleepless night, every ounce of despair, it's all shaping you into something greater than you can even imagine. But here's the thing most people miss. Growth doesn't happen without destruction. To build a stronger version of yourself, you have to tear down the weaker version first. You have to dismantle the illusions, the lies you tell yourself, the excuses that keep you stagnant. And that process? Oh, it's excruciating. But isn't that what makes it beautiful? Pain isn't polite. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't knock on the door and wait for you to let it in. No, it kicks the door down, flips the table, and forces you to face what you've been avoiding. And yet, most people hate it. They hate the discomfort, the uncertainty, the rawness of it all. They'd rather stay in their safe little bubble, pretending everything's fine, than face the fire and risk getting burned. But you're different, aren't you? You're not here to play it safe. You're not here to tiptoe through life, hoping to arrive at death without a scratch. You're here to live, to fight, to feel. And that means embracing the pain, not just enduring it, embracing it. Because pain is the price of progress. It's the toll you pay on the road to greatness. And every time you choose to face it, every time you choose to rise above it, you're proving to yourself and to the world that you're more than they ever thought you could be. They'll look at you and wonder how you do it, how you keep going, how you keep smiling through the storms, and they'll hate you for it. They'll envy your strength, your resilience, your ability to transform pain into power. But let them hate, let them doubt, let them whisper behind your back. Because their words, they're nothing but noise. And you're a symphony, a force of nature, a testament to what's possible when you refuse to let pain define you. The world doesn't owe you understanding. It doesn't owe you kindness. It doesn't owe you fairness. And that's okay, because you don't need it. You don't need their approval, their validation, their pity. You've got something far more powerful. You've got pain. And pain is the ultimate teacher. It strips away the illusions, the pretenses, the masks. It shows you who you are when there's nothing left to hide behind, and in that moment you see the truth. The truth is, you're stronger than you think. You're braver than you feel, and you're capable of more than you ever imagined. So stop running, stop hiding, stop waiting for the pain to pass. It won't. It's here to stay. And that's not a bad thing, because every ache, every scar, every memory, it's all part of your story. A story of resilience, a story of strength, a story of transformation. It's a story of transformation, a story of transformation, a story. And when you finally embrace it, when you stop fighting it and start using it, that's when the real magic happens. That's when you stop being a victim and start being a victor. That's when you stop surviving and start thriving. So embrace the pain. Let it guide you, teach you, shape you. And remember, the fire that burns the brightest is the one that's been through the most heat. You are that fire. Burn bright, burn fierce, and let the world see what pain has created. And when the world finally notices, when they finally see the fire in your eyes, they'll pretend it's always been there. They'll act like they believed in you all along, like they never doubted, never whispered, never tried to break you. But deep down, you'll know the truth. You'll know that they weren't there in the dark when you were clawing your way out. They didn't see the nights when you cried until you couldn't breathe. They didn't hear the voice in your head telling you to give up, to stay down, to surrender. No, they weren't there, and that's why their opinions, they mean nothing. Their approval, irrelevant, because you didn't rise for them. You didn't endure for their applause. You didn't fight for their recognition. You fought for yourself. You endured for your future. You rose because staying down was never an option. And now, you walk with a strength that can't be faked, with a confidence that can't be shaken, with a purpose that can't be stolen. But don't get comfortable. Don't let the fire dim just because the world is finally warming up to your light. Pain doesn't stop just because you've reached one summit. There's always another mountain to climb, another storm to face, another battle to win. And that's the beauty of it. Life isn't a straight line. It's a series of peaks and valleys, triumphs and tragedies, beginnings and endings. It's messy, unpredictable, and often unfair. But that's what makes it worth living. Because every time you fall, every time you stumble, every time you break, you have a choice. A choice to stay down or to rise again. A choice to let the pain consume you or to let it fuel you. And let me tell you something, every time you choose to rise, every time you choose to fight, every time you choose to embrace the pain, you're proving to yourself and to the world that you're unstoppable. So keep going, keep fighting, keep rising, because the pain, it's not here to destroy you, it's here to define you, to shape you, to mold you into the person you were always meant to be. And one day, when you look back on all of it, the struggles, the heartache, the moments of doubt, you'll realize that it was all worth it. Because it didn't just teach you who you are, it taught you what you're capable of. And that's something no one can ever take away from you. And when you stand on the other side of it all, on the side where the pain no longer controls you, where the scars are badges of honor and not shackles, you'll understand something profound. Pain wasn't your enemy. It was your mentor. The sleepless nights, the endless battles, the betrayals, the heartbreak, they weren't there to break you. They were there to make you see yourself, to strip away the illusions, the comforts, the masks you wore for the world. They forced you to confront who you are when no one's looking, when no one's applauding. You see, in the darkest moments, that's where the truth lives. That's where you find what you're really made of. Because anyone can shine in the sunlight, but it takes something different, something extraordinary to glow in the dark. And now you're here. You've faced the worst of it and you're still breathing, still standing. You've survived things that would have broken most people. And while the world might not understand, while they might still look at you like you're made of something foreign, you know the truth. You're not fragile. You're not weak. You're not a victim of your circumstances. You're something more. You're a survivor, a warrior, a force that can't be ignored. But let me warn you, the world doesn't like people like you. People who've tasted their own blood, who've walked through their own hell, who've climbed out of their own graves. The world likes things it can control, people it can predict, and you're neither. So they'll try to pull you back down. They'll try to make you doubt yourself. They'll whisper in your ear that you're not enough, that you're too broken, too damaged, too much. But you don't need their validation. You never did. Let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them hate. Because every word they throw at you, every attempt to break you, is just another reminder that they fear you. They fear what you represent: strength, resilience, independence. And here's the secret they don't want you to know. They hate you because they wish they could be you. They wish they had the courage to face their pain the way you did. They wish they had the strength to keep going when the world told them to stop. But they don't, and they never will, because while they were busy hiding from the storm, you were walking through it. While they were running from their demons, you were facing yours head on. And that's why you're unstoppable. Because you've already been through the worst. And you came out the other side stronger, wiser, and more dangerous than ever. So let them try to tear you down. Let them try to break you. They don't understand that every hit you take, every insult, every setback is just more fuel for the fire. Because now you're not just surviving, you're thriving. You're turning the pain into power, the scars into strength, the losses into lessons. And there's no force on this earth that can take that away from you. This isn't the end of your story. It's just the beginning. You've already rewritten the rules, shattered the expectations, and burned the bridges to the past. Now it's time to rise higher, to dream bigger, to live louder. Because this life, it's yours for the taking. And the world, it better get ready. Because you're just getting started. The world doesn't owe you a damn thing. That's the harsh truth most people don't want to hear. They want life to be fair, for their pain to mean something, for their efforts to be rewarded just because they showed up. But that's not how it works. Fairness? It's an illusion, a pretty lie we tell ourselves to sleep better at night. You want something? Take it. You want respect? Earn it. You want change? Bleed for it. This isn't a fairy tale where the hero wins because they're good and pure. No, this is reality. And in reality, the hero is the one who refuses to stay down, the one who keeps fighting, even when the odds are stacked against them. You see, life isn't going to hand you opportunities on a silver platter. It's going to throw obstacles in your way, test you, push you, break you. And when it does, you have two choices: lie there and let the world trample you, or get up and fight back. But here's the catch. Getting up isn't enough. You have to rise with purpose, with fire in your veins and steel in your spine. You have to rise knowing that the world will push back harder, that it will try to knock you down again. And you have to smile through it, not because it's easy, but because you know something they don't. You know that every blow you take makes you stronger. Every fall you endure makes you tougher. The pain? It's not your enemy, it's your teacher. It's molding you, shaping you, preparing you for the battles ahead. Because let me tell you something, the people who change the world, the ones who leave their mark, they're not the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who faced hell and kept going. The ones who embraced their scars, their flaws, their darkness, and turned it into something unstoppable. The ones that they look. So stop waiting for life to get easier. Stop wishing for things to go your way. Start owning your pain, your struggle, your story. Start using it as fuel to light a fire so bright it burns through every doubt, every fear, every obstacle in your path. Because the truth is, you don't need anyone's permission to rise. You don't need their approval, their support, their applause. All you need is you, your will, your strength, your determination. And once you realize that, once you truly understand that you hold all the power, nothing can stop you. Not the pain, not the setbacks, not the people who try to tear you down, because you've already faced the worst. You've already survived what should have broken you. And now you're unstoppable. So rise and keep rising, not for them, not for their approval, but for yourself. Because you deserve to see just how powerful you really are. And the world, it deserves to witness what happens when someone refuses to give up, refuses to back down, refuses to be anything less than extraordinary. This is your time, your journey, your story, and it's just getting started. The world will keep testing you over and over again. It doesn't care about your dreams, your plans, or your feelings. It only cares about one thing. Are you strong enough to endure? Are you willing to keep going when everything inside you screams to stop? But here's the twist. Those tests, that pain, they aren't there to destroy you. No, they're there to reveal you, to strip away the lies you've told yourself, the excuses, the fears, until all that's left is the raw, unshakable truth of who you are. And who are you? That's the question you have to answer, not with words but with action, because words are cheap, promises are meaningless without the grit to back them up. The world doesn't care about your potential, it cares about your results. Potential means nothing if you're too afraid to take the first step, if you're too scared to fail. Because failure, it's part of the process. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's the path to it. Every great success story is built on a mountain of failures. Every legend you admire has scars you can't see, battles they don't talk about, pain they've carried in silence. But they kept moving, they kept pushing, they kept fighting. Not because it was easy, but because they knew the truth. Pain is temporary. Quitting is forever. You think you're alone in your struggle? You're not. Everyone's fighting battles you can't see. Everyone's carrying pain they don't talk about. But what separates the strong from the weak is what you do with that pain. Do you let it define you, or do you use it to refine you? You have a choice. Every single day, every single moment. You can let the world break you, or you can use the broken pieces to build something stronger. Something unbreakable. But here's the thing, no one's coming to save you. No one's going to fight your battles for you. You have to stand up, face the storm, and carve your own path. And when you do, when you embrace the pain, when you learn to dance with the chaos instead of running from it, you'll discover something incredible. You'll discover that you're more powerful than you ever imagined, that the limits you thought existed were nothing more than illusions, that the pain you feared was the key to unlocking your true potential. So stop running, stop hiding, stop waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect opportunity. Start now, start messy, start scared. Just start. Because every second you spend doubting yourself, every moment you spend waiting for someone else to give you permission, is a moment you'll never get back. Time doesn't wait for anyone, and neither should you. Rise, fight, conquer, Not because it's easy, but because you can, because deep down you already know the pain isn't here to stop you. It's here to show you what you're made of. So embrace it, use it, and let the world see what happens when someone refuses to back down. Let them witness the fire that burns inside you. Let them feel the power of a soul that refuses to quit. Because in the end, it's not the pain that defines you, it's how you rise from it. And you're meant to rise higher than they ever thought possible. You see, pain is a strange teacher. It doesn't whisper lessons in your ear. It shouts them, loud and relentless. It forces you to confront the darkest corners of yourself, the fears, the doubts, the insecurities you've buried deep. It strips away the illusions, leaving nothing but raw, uncomfortable truth. And that's where growth begins, in that discomfort, in that fire. Because real change doesn't come from comfort, it comes from being broken open and piecing yourself back together, stronger than before. You want to know the secret? Those who conquer pain, who thrive in chaos, they're not fearless. No, they're terrified, just like you. But they've learned to keep moving despite the fear. They've learned that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's action in the face of it. So many people let fear control them. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. And that fear, it's a thief. It steals dreams, it kills ambition, and it paralyzes potential. But here's the truth no one wants to admit. Fear isn't going away. It's always going to be there, whispering in your ear, telling you to play it safe, to stay small. You can't silence it. But you can drown it out with action. Every time you take a step forward, even when your legs are shaking, even when your heart is pounding, you're silencing that fear. You're proving to yourself that it has no power over you. Because here's the reality, fear will always exist, but so will your strength. And your strength, it's infinite as long as you keep choosing to fight. Pain, fear, failure, they're not enemies, they're allies in disguise. They're the tools the universe uses to forge greatness. They're the fire that tempers steel. They're the storm that clears the path for something greater. But only if you let them. Only if you stop running and start embracing them. You see, pain isn't just a teacher, it's a mirror. It shows you who you really are, what you're capable of and what you stand for. It reveals the cracks in your armor, yes, but it also gives you the chance to fortify them, to turn your weaknesses into strengths. So stop fearing the pain. Stop cursing the struggle. Instead, welcome it, invite it in, learn from it, and then use it to fuel your rise. Because when you do, when you finally understand that pain isn't here to break you but to build you, something magical happens. The world no longer seems so daunting. The obstacles no longer feel so insurmountable. You start to see the truth. You were built for this. You were made to endure, to overcome, to thrive, not in spite of the pain, but because of it. So go ahead, face it, embrace it, and then rise from it, stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable than ever. Because that's who you are. That's what you're capable of. And deep down, you've always known it. This is your time. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. To rise and let the world see what happens when someone refuses to stay down. Let them witness the transformation, the rebirth, the unshakable force that emerges from the fire. And when they ask you how you did it, when they marvel at your strength, your resilience, your power, you'll know the answer. You embrace the pain, you let it shape you, teach you, transform you, and in doing so you became unstoppable. The world will never understand the strength it takes to rise from ashes. They see the surface, the polished exterior, the smile that masks the scars. But they don't see the battles you fought within yourself. They don't see the nights you spent breaking down, only to wake up and fight again. That's the beauty of pain. It's invisible to the world, but unmistakable to you. It becomes your story, your fuel, your identity. It's the fire that keeps burning inside, reminding you of every step you've taken, every wound you've endured, and every victory you've earned. People will always try to define you by their standards, their limits, their vision of what you should be. But pain teaches you something they'll never understand. The only definition that matters is the one you give yourself. You are not your failures, you are not your mistakes. You are the strength that kept going when everything in you screamed to stop. You are the courage that faced the storms head on, even when it felt like the world was against you. Pain is the truth teller of life. It strips away the lies, the illusions, the masks. It forces you to confront yourself in the rawest, most vulnerable form. And when you do, when you see yourself for who you truly are, you realize something powerful. You've always been enough. Not because you're perfect, but because you're willing to grow. Because you're willing to face the pain, to learn from it, to let it mold you into someone stronger, wiser, and more unshakable. But here's the thing about this journey. It's lonely. It's isolating. People don't understand the path you're walking because they're too busy avoiding their own pain. They'll mock you, doubt you, and sometimes even leave you. And that's okay. Let them. Their absence isn't a loss, it's a gift. It's space for you to grow without their shadows looming over you. It's freedom to walk your path without their chains holding you back. Because you don't need them. You never did. All you've ever needed was already inside you. The strength, the courage, the resilience. It was there all along, waiting for you to unlock it. And when you finally do, when you stand tall in the face of everything life throws at you, you become untouchable. Not because you're invincible, but because you've learned that even when you fall, even when you break, you can rise again. Pain changes you, yes, but it doesn't destroy you. It transforms you. It refines you. It prepares you for a life you never thought possible. And it will do it magically if you don't fail to make it. So don't run from it, don't hide from it. Let it come, let it break you open, and then let it build you back up stronger than before. Because the truth is, the greatest version of you is forged in fire. The strongest version of you rises from the ashes. And the unstoppable version of you? That's the one who embraces the pain, faces the truth, and refuses to back down. This is your story. This is your journey. And the best part? It's just beginning. So take that first step. Face the pain. Embrace the change. And watch as you become the person you were always meant to be.